There are few things cooler than dual-wielding shotguns. Now, these weapons are already designed to blow people away when they get too close, but there's something extra awesome about running around with two of them and cleaning up the battlefield. Throughout COD history, we've got a number of Akimbo shotgun options, and today we're going to do something we haven't done in quite a while. Welcome, everybody. Chaos here. I'm going to rank every Akimbo shotgun in COD history, from COD 4 all the way to Vanguard. Now, keep in mind, we're going to be talking about the games in their current state. So yes, some of these are completely overpowered at some point, but I'm talking about them as they are on September 1st of 2022. So you let me know what you want us to rank next. Yes, the ranking series is coming back. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed. We start off with the Akimbo Executioner in Black Ops 2. We are going worst to best. It's one of the worst pistols in COD history. Also, makes for one of the worst Akimbo shotguns. It was a bad design. Shotgun pistol looked cool. People insisted it was good, despite it being one of the most difficult weapons in the game to get kills with. The concept of a shotgun pistol is awesome, but the range, it was pitiful, and the damage was extremely inconsistent. So by running the Executioner in Akimbo form, you could get more consistent one-shot kills, but since you could no longer aim down the sights, well, your range was made even worse, which was really bad because of the already poor range in the gun. It was rough. The Executioner was bad enough, but it was honestly made worse in Akimbo mode, and absolutely nobody ran these things seriously back in the day. Before we move on, guys, are you a fan of the Punisher? Which Akimbo set from this list do you think Frank Castle would use? And while we're talking about that, if you guys are into pop culture, Marvel, DC, comics, or anything, check out the Chaos Comics YouTube channel. We are on our way to 3,000 subscribers, and join the Discord. I'll put the links in the description. I hope to see some of you over there. At number 9, the Akimbo HS-10 in Black Ops 1. It pains me to put these here. Now, determining which shotgun was worse was honestly tough. I usually don't have a hard time figuring out which gun is worse, but the AS-10, it was awful. Semi-auto shotty, one of the worst guns in the original Black Ops, but it was also one of the only primary weapons that you could dual wield for some reason. Now, you would think that using two shotguns at once would give you at least a little advantage on the battlefield, but it didn't. You could only have 4 shells in the HS, so you'd constantly be reloading. The accuracy was almost hilariously bad, and the range was pitiful. The only reason the HS-10 is above the Executioner is at least the reload animation was quick, so there was less downtime. But the Akimbo, it was terrible. It was a close race from the bottom to the top. Now, I did feel really, really awesome using them, but they weren't any good. At number 8, the Akimbo 357 Snakeshots in Modern Warfare 2019. Now, I know. There was a time when the 357 Snakeshots would have been in the top 3 of this list, but since they've been nerfed super hard, they're at number 8. Now, granted, they're still really good weapons, and you're going to find that every entry moving forward in this video is a pretty solid choice. Almost every Akimbo shotgun in COD history is good, so even though the 357s are a fraction of their former selves, they're still viable. By throwing an ammo conversion onto the revolver, you can turn it into a beefier version of the Executioner, and running them in Akimbo form can give you pretty powerful close-range secondary options. The Snakeshots were sweet. I think number 8 is a fair place for them in the current market. The Akimbo Rangers in Modern Warfare 2. I'm probably going to get a little heat for this. Modern Warfare 2 introduced us to the idea of Akimbo shotguns. The Rangers were an extremely popular option. Double-barrel shotgun that had a decent one-shot kill range, but very, very bad ammo capacity. But running them in Akimbo form could help offset that a little with the damage and the speed penalties. You could fire them one after another to basically double the fire rate, or you could fire them both at the same time to effectively double your one-shot kill potential. Plus, reload animation, it was nice, it was quick, it was smooth. You weren't caught off guard out in the open. They were a fan favorite in the original Modern Warfare 2, so much that they got a remake 7 years later. And speaking of that remake, at number 6, the Akimbo Rangers in Modern Warfare Remastered. They were brought back as DLC in the remake of COD 4. I know, fans were upset about the addition of new weapons, but here they are. I think legacy weapons were okay. I mean, if they're going to add new guns to a remake, wouldn't you prefer them to be legacy instead of brand new guns that feel out of place? Just trying to be the glass is half full here. The optimist, not the pessimist, but the Akimbo Rangers were pretty cool. They were. They were nearly identical to the Modern Warfare 2 version, and the map design of COD 4 allowed for them to be a bit more useful than before. They were good in both games. When it comes down to it, I think you just got more out of the Modern Warfare Remastered version, so it gets a slightly higher spot. Cracking into the top 5. The Akimbo Double-Barrel in Vanguard. Now, Vanguard hasn't exactly been the most talked about COD game of all time, but there have been a few things that I've seen people discussing, and the Akimbo Double-Barrel is one of them. Now, I may not have followed Vanguard very closely, But I know there was a point where everybody was spamming these double barrels because of the one-shot kill range and the spammy potential. It seems Sledgehammer did their best to cage the beast, but recent gameplay still seems pretty solid. I don't think they may have gone far enough for something like this. Now, I'm all for Akimbo shotguns having a generous one-shot kill range, but the 10-attachment gunsmith system in the game, well, it makes guns easy to exploit. At number 4, the Akimbo Model 1887 in Modern Warfare 2. Don't dislike the video just for the fact that I put them at number 4. You have to hear me out, and I have to remind you that we're talking about shotguns in their current state. The Akimbo models were one of the most ridiculous aspects of the game when it came out, yes. Dual-wielding lever-action shotguns, you were Terminator with every flip. It was awesome. They were awesome enough on their own, but when the game first came out, something was funky with their damage range because they could basically snipe people. Now, they were one of the best weapons in the entire game. They were the best weapon in the entire game, and a lot of Modern Warfare 2's problems were never fixed. But this one actually got patched out before Infinity Ward and Activision had their fallout. Therefore, they're at number 4. At number 3 today, the Akimbo Marshals in Black Ops Cold War. Now, they were added to Cold War a little while after launch, and people were, they were talking. Aside from bringing back bad memories of a certain other Marshal in Black Ops history, the Cold War Marshal was very easy to exploit once you leveled it up. Now, the single weapon wasn't anything to be scared of. The crazy late unlocked attachments made it game-breaking. You could run it in Akimbo form, loaded with incendiary shells, for it was just absurd damage, and a fast reload animation to boot. I think most of you can understand why it was a problem. Treyarch eventually stepped in, nerfed it, but the Akimbo Marshals are still arguably the best secondary in that game. They handle quickly, they have super generous range drop-off, and they pack a ton of damage as soon as you pull the trigger. They were nutty even after the nerfs. At number 2, we're just going to continue to get angry here, the Akimbo Marshal 16s in Black Ops 3. One of the most infamous supply drop weapons in history. Shotgun pistol hybrid in Black Ops 3. Now, I believe it was the first ever weapon of that kind in COD history. The Marshal could only be fired once before being reloaded, but that one shot had a lot of stopping power for a considerable amount of distance. It didn't take long for people at all to realize that running the Marshal 16 in Akimbo was one of the most broken things in the game. You had the mobility of a pistol, but the one-shot kill range from the Black Ops 2 KSG or maybe further. It was frustrating to go up against because not only would they instantly delete you from any distance, they were locked behind freaking supply drops, so there was a really good chance that you never even got to use them. Yeah, those days are behind us. And at number 1 today, the best Akimbo shotgun ranked by me has to be the Akimbo M.2187 in Infinite Warfare. I'm going to get heat for this, okay? It's a hot take, but hear me out. DLC shotgun, lever action, meant to be a futuristic version of the classic Model 1887. The fire rate was low, but the damage was high. There was even an option to dual wield them, making them the perfect evolution of the classic Modern Warfare 2 Akimbo models. Damage through the roof. Range, super forgiving, and the animations, well, they were really cool. So while you may have hated Infinite Warfare, and you may not even know that this gun existed, it was a great callback to the classic Akimbo models. I think it's one of the best gun remakes in COD history, and I know you're going to be upset about it, but it is what it is. If you want to dislike the video, I get it, but YouTube doesn't show them anymore, so nobody will ever know. There you have it, my friends. We ranked every single Akimbo shotgun set in COD history. Let me know what ranking video you'd like to see next, and I'll see you soon.